Roll for Crit here at PAX Unplugged. Right now we're outside the Renegade Game Studios booth. I'm talking to Mandy of Renegade Game Studios, and you guys always have really cool, very different, big variety of games, all kinds of genres, all kinds of original IPs, as well as licensed stuff that we want to talk about. Let's start with Clip Cut Parks, which is a roll and write, but it's a roll and cut, you're calling it?
Roll and cut is exactly right.
So how does that work exactly?
So literally the name is that. Roll a dice, cut some stuff. So what ends up happening in the game, I'll give you like a brief synopsis if that's okay. Everybody gets their own kind of player sheets. Those are what you're going to be cutting. And you have parks that you're trying to complete. So the goal of the game is to be the first one to complete 5. So when you roll the die, so the actual player rolls the die, and it gives you the amount of cuts you can make. So for example, if I have a 1, 1, 2, it means I could make 3 different cuts, one in length, so there are squares, so 1 square length, another one in a square length, and then another one in the, I think I said 2 square lengths. Okay. The problem is, if you start dropping pieces off and you cannot place them on your park, bye-bye. Those pieces are gone and you can't use them. So I have played this game and I've literally cut my sheet in half. Not on purpose, and half my sheet is now gone. So I can't finish my, it's rough. So it's a good one. Suzanne and I actually talked about this one on the Dice Tower podcast. We both love it. So yes, people go wasting paper, and I'm like, well, okay, yes, I can't get away from that. But at least recycle your bits when you crumple them.
I mean, you're probably throwing out a regular roll and write sheet of paper too, or recycling, I suppose, right? Think about the environment.
I laminate.
You frame them on the wall and as a mark of your achievements?
I do that too. Don't shame me.
No, that's great. See, I don't have any scores to be proud of, so I wouldn't laminate them.
I don't either, but I laminate it anyway.
Right. But I mean, there is something I love that idea because it's almost kind of thrilling to actually be able to destroy a piece of your game components, like a legacy game does that too, but in a smaller form. You don't need to spend a long time to get that experience.
Actually, the legacy ones hurt my soul. I actually save all the pieces in a little plastic bag that says destroy, but I don't destroy.
I'll be honest, we do that too.
Oh, okay, good. So just
we're just like you. I just wanted to sound cool when I said we destroy things. We don't do that. Now, we said licenses too.
Yep.
The Scott Pilgrim miniatures game, you already had the card game.
Right.
But this one is full cool 3D minis on little sets. There's a stage. You're battling each other. What kind of makes this one stand out for Scott Pilgrim fans or for just miniatures games fans? You want to talk about a little bit how that one works?
Sure. So I'll be honest. I haven't played this one yet, but I know a little bit about the process because my friend Erica Bioris designed it. So I've been hearing about it for some time. So she's a huge fan of Scott Pilgrim. And as you know, we're both Canadians. Scott Pilgrim's Canadian. So
shout out to Canada.
Exactly. The miniatures are fantastic. They are so real looking to the characters. They even have like the stools and things like you can throw. So like you get that vibe in the game. So just looking at it and the way it's set up, you're like, oh, this is legit going to capture that essence of Scott Pilgrim. So I'm excited to try it. It's here at PAX in its kind of unfinished form, but it still looks fantastic.
Yeah, big Scott Pilgrim fan. And do they come pre-painted or do you have to paint them later? Do you know?
That I'm actually not privy to, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably going to be not painted. And then if you do want them painted, it's either going to be something that's like you can pay for it to be done or something they may offer, but it would be like an extra charge.
Because the ones that you have here look amazing. They're
and that's not even the finished ones. Now I'm wondering if Terry did those.
Oh, maybe. They look really good.
They look great.
And another one that I've heard about is Gates of Delirium.
Yes.
And it sounded really interesting. Has some mechanics that involve insanity and sanity. And on any given turn, you can decide which one you are going to be.
Correct.
So what does that mean?
So players get to decide, when they're playing cards, if they want to be sane or insane. Whoever knows me will know what side of the cards that I'm going to play. But the game is kind of geared toward the Lovecraftian-esque type game, but it's like a twist on it. So if you're, your typical Cthulhu or things like that, but apparently with this whole sane choosing of cards really helps you kind of define your path. Because as we know in a lot of these games, you go insane. Like you legitimately go insane and that's it. But you have options and choices here, so it's not always going to happen. You're trying to find, I think the quote they use is the path of truths, which may make you insane. So I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, you're going to go insane anyway. Why not let yourself make that choice if you can?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, as you said, there are lots of Lovecraft games, but it did sound like this one has a pretty unique twist on it that I thought was cool.
Right.
And it is competitive, but you were kind of like, you're making decisions for other people too when you make
Right.
that choice. Also love any game that has cards with multiple options on them. You can play them different ways. I always think that's
Exactly.
interesting. You guys have so much other stuff that we don't have time to talk about all of it, but I know there's, of course, the new Clank Legacy came out recently. Any other highlights you want to run through and tell people about that they should go
Yeah.
buy right now?
Right now. So depending on, like, this might be a different audience, but the Aquacorn Cove board game. So I have to say it slowly because I always trip over the name. But if you're familiar with the web-based comic by Katie O'Neill, this is basically that, but in a board game. So if you like T-Dragon Society, which was a lighter deck builder, this is kind of the next level up. It's cooperative, and I love the theme. I mean, you're trying to save the environment, not ruin or pollute it, and you have to work as a team to do it. People are like, oh, it's too easy. No, there's like a difficult mode, and the gamers are going to be like, yeah, difficult mode. Don't do that. It's hard, and I've lost many times. So it's adorable, great for families, but just even people who enjoy this series, I think, will really enjoy that as well. Some other games that have come out, not new, but new-ish. Paladins, the West Kingdom. I don't know if you've played that at all.
Of course, yeah.
People know I like heavier games. This is the heaviest one in the series, and I really like some of the card play in that game. So for me, that was a big winner. So if you haven't tried it, I encourage you to at least give it a go. So those are some ones that are kind of top of my list.
Yeah, big titles. I know Paladins doesn't need probably too much marketing because I think everybody already
I know,
is
right?
crazy about it. But good to get the word out as much as we can. Thank you so much for talking to us. Hope you guys are having a good PAX Unplugged.
It's fantastic.
And check out Renegade Game Studios. And this has been Roll for Crit. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and support us on Patreon. That would make us happy.
Maybe the next video is the one where Jonathan does a silly dance.